Welcome to the Executive Coaching Podcast, where Executive Coach Alicia Cowan will discuss leadership topics and coaching solutions to tackle the most difficult problems that keep you from leading your team to success.
Hi there, senior leaders. It's Alicia Cowan, and welcome to episode number 24 of the Executive Coaching Podcast. It is mid-October as I'm recording this, and I can't believe that we're looking at the last quarter of the calendar year. It's wild to say. And as always, been busy around the Cowan household. Last weekend, my husband moved another daughter here to the Tampa area. So now we have 3 daughters in the area. And this weekend, they all wanted to go see Taylor Swift's movie. That's really just the Eras Tour, filming of the Eras Tour. So we went on Saturday, and all they did was just really stand and dance like it was a concert and sing. So it was a lot of fun. And we are getting ready for Halloween and all of the fun Halloween activities that are surrounding it. And of course, the house update. Last week, the plumbing fixtures and all of the faucets and fun stuff got installed. And then the AC units and the trim out of all the AC things got done. So again, steady progress. We're working towards it. So fingers crossed, 2023 is the year. So I want to talk quickly about presentation energy. I want to give you a couple tips here around getting ready for a big presentation. I've been really working with a lot of clients on executive presence, presentation skills, prepping for big meetings. And I want to share a couple of quick tips that may help you in getting ready for presentations. And here's what I found. I've been coaching a lot, and what I'm finding is that these clients are over preparing for the details for presentations that matter, but not as much as the big picture things that really matter. And what I mean by that is sometimes it's like all the minutiae, like the deck and the visuals, important, but not as important as how you're going to show up. The words in the speech, important, but not as important as how you want to be in the room and what energy you want to bring. And so we lose focus at times when we're getting ready for these presentations. I think we feel like we have control over these details, like the deck and the words. And so we focus so much on them that we lose sight of the big picture at times. We lose sight of how do we want to show up when presenting? And this can mean anything from Zoom meetings to boardroom meetings to large stages that we present on to just one-on-one meetings. When we're in a presentation situation, meaning we are speaking, how do we want to show up? And really, these details that I'm talking about, the deck, the words, they're all neutral. And what I mean by that is they're just totally neutral circumstances. They're just flat, and they are not brought to life without your presentation energy and how you show up in the room as a leader and what you bring to that presentation. So let's dive into this and talk more about it. So what do I mean by presentation energy? Well, really, it's your mindset. It's your thought, what you're thinking about this presentation, what you think about the people in the room, what you think about your content, what you're thinking about your objective of the meeting, and what you think about your reason for even having the meeting. All the thoughts, basically, everything that you're thinking ahead of and going into that meeting is going to drive how you're feeling, which ultimately will show up in how you act and therefore the end result. All right, so let's dive into an example of what I mean by this to help better illustrate it. So recently I was talking through a situation with a client. The client had a really big pitch meeting they were preparing for. It was with a group of executives, and they were getting ready for this meeting. Then the thought about this meeting was this client was thinking, I have to close this deal with these execs. They are more experienced than this industry and than I am, and I really need to impress them. That was the underlying current and thought of getting ready for this meeting. And the feeling that came from, I need to impress them. They're more experienced than me. I have to close this deal, was this nervous, anxious feeling and a feeling of being intimidated. And as a result of that, the actions were this like need to overcompensate. And this person, even though they were already smart and super professional, these actions where they were trying to come off even feeling smarter and more professional than they were, which again, the client already was. There wasn't any need to alter, but because they were trying to project something that they believed that they were not, what they believed the executives in the room were looking for, they portrayed what they believed was smarter and more professional. And really it came off as like inauthentic and kind of stiff and not them at all, because they were trying to project something they thought they wanted to hear versus who they actually were. And as a result, this presentation like came off needy and nervous and like, again, a need to try to close this deal and drive this sale. And it didn't come off as authentic or anything of what this person actually wanted to portray. It came off of the subconscious thought that they were having. And it wasn't until after the fact that we really started to dive into why this occurred. So the coaching that we did together was in preparation for the next meeting. Again, different set of executives, but a similar situation where they were trying to partner with this group of individuals. So we changed the approach. So in getting ready for the next presentation, rather than focusing on just the details, just the words in the deck, just the deck itself, the work that we did together that I think you can take away from this is we worked together to decide ahead of time. And some of the questions that I asked was, what are you going to think and therefore really truly believe ahead of time, so that when you go into the meeting, you feel it and then you act in alignment with those beliefs. So we really focused on the thought, like, how do you want to show up? Who do you want to be? How do you want to come across in that meeting? And something that had to be believable to this client. Like wasn't something that I was going to force upon them or make sure that it was my belief in them. It was what they really believed and what they wanted to think. So for that example, this client, again, we were trying to get away from the details of the deck, the features and the benefits of the deal, which was really where they kept getting drawn back to. And we were pulled out of the big picture of like how they wanted to show up in the meeting. And finally we got to it. And the desired result for this client, like how they wanted to show up, was confident, fun, funny, and knowledgeable. And so we really focused on the beliefs that this person could believe is true. And so the thought was, I'm confident in my brand. They had a really youthful, fun brand. It's not serious. It's not stuffy at all. And they were offering something different because a lot of other brands in the same space were not this brand. They were a little bit more serious and stuffy and not a youthful, fun brand. They also wanted to appear confident. And what was cool about this is that some executives had tried this brand already and loved it. And now it was really just a matter of working out the details to secure this deal. And so this person could get really behind this because they already had evidence that this was going to be a great deal. They already had evidence that these executives loved the brand and they wanted to show it. They wanted to show it in the room. And then the last part was being fun and funny. And this person, again, not only were they smart, not only were they knowledgeable and professional, but they were also bringing an element of fun and a sense of humor, an appropriate sense of humor to the table. And they wanted to bring that into the room. They didn't want it to be another boring presentation, which we all have sat through, where somebody just reads the words on the deck to us, and it is not fun or entertaining whatsoever. So they wanted to bring that and their sense of humor to this. And so those were the beliefs we focused on. Those are the thoughts that we used to prep for this meeting rather than focusing on the deck. So this was the thought and what some of the thoughts are and what they looked like. So, first thought, I've done all of the prep work and I have some really great reasons of why we should partner. Now, I just have to have fun with these potential clients and show them that this deal is a no-brainer. And if they're not into it, our fun, youthful brands, then they aren't the partner for us. And that is the energy that we used in order to bring the right thought process into the rest of the work, getting ready for the meeting, prepping for the meeting, and then walking into the meeting. And it really helped shape the rest of the actions that this person took. And it really helped drive the feeling of confidence and fun into everything else that they did in order to get ready for this pitch. Okay. So how do you take this into your own work and your own presentations? It's super simple. One way you can do this is to download and do what I call thought download on a piece of paper or somewhere digitally where you want to record it. What are you currently thinking about the presentation or the meeting that you have upcoming? What thought process and what thoughts do you currently have about this meeting? And then just notice, are those ones that you want to keep and hold on to? And if not, you get to decide ahead of time. What do you want to think and really believe about this meeting? How do you want to think and show up to it? That way, make sure it's believable so that you can actually feel it and then act in alignment with those beliefs. All right, give it a try and let me know how it goes. Because again, I think sometimes we get so lost in the detail of the deck, of the words. But really, it's got to be our thought process and our beliefs ahead of time. And we get to decide what that's going to look like. Then that will drive everything else behind it. So try it out. Let me know how it works. I can't wait to hear how your presentations and meetings go. And if you want help with this, as always, I am here to talk through it with you and help you. And as I mentioned, we are going through the back half or back quarter of the year and getting ready for next year. So I know a lot of you are in budget planning and getting ready for 2024. I am starting to talk to you about one-on-one coaching engagements and group coaching for senior leaders for the next year. So if you have needs, if you have things you want help with, reach out to me. You can reach out to me through my website. It's EliciaCowanCoaching.com, ElisiaKeown coaching.com. And you can reach out to me and we can have a conversation and start to talk through what challenges you're facing and how you might need help. All right. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Executive Coaching Podcast with Alicia Cowan. If you're ready to have an executive coach who's ready to help you lead your team to success, then book an introductory call at EliciaCowanCoaching.com/call.